Hey everybody, Ron Burke, Editor-in-Chief for GamingTrend.com. Today we're going to check out BenQ's x1300i, a gaming projector that runs at 120Hz refresh rate at 1080p. Can it back up those claims? Let's unbox this thing and find out. Alright, it's time to set up the projector. This projector supports 4 positions. You can set it up the way this is set up right now, which is sitting on a sturdy surface, projecting from the front. You can also do that same thing with a rear projection. You can mount it from the ceiling. Most theaters are set up this way, and this projector does have the mounts that we saw earlier. And you can also do that for a rear mount ceiling projector position as well. Lots of languages supported. I don't feel like translating, so we're going to go with English. Alright, this right here is where a lot of projectors fail. That's keystone. Keystone is the angle at which the projector tilts the image. As you can see, this supports quite a bit of keystone. 30 degrees from the looks of it. This is to help compensate for whatever angle you have to put your projector to make it fit your space. 30 degrees is significant. I've seen very few projectors that support that. I believe we're at -6. Something like that. That looks square to me. Also supports tilting left and right. This helps if your projector has to be at an angle. Again, 30 degrees, that's significant. Well, I managed to hit something I didn't expect, so it kind of skipped ahead. We're going to try and do that 2D keystone. Don't mind the music. That's actually the speakers coming from the projector. Well, that's not the best. Let's try the auto keystone one more time. Alright. So auto keystone may not be a great feature for this. Still, the keystoning on this is pretty fantastic. What you missed, it asked me to hold down the OK button for 3 seconds to pair the controller with the BenQ streaming device that we put into the device earlier. So that was easy. Hold down OK for 3 seconds, it paired and up started the music, and here we go. Alright, so English again. Quickly set up your TV with your Android phone. Okay. So I'm going to pause for just a second and accomplish this short task. Okay, Google, set up my device. My phone is searching for the projector. That is the code I see on my phone. It's connecting to my Wi-Fi. Success. All done. Terms of service. Naturally, we're not going to read those. We're just going to hit accept. Sure, use my location. Why not? We'll help Google. Don't think I want to have this thing recording my voice, so we'll skip that. We'll just leave this the default name. Sure, we'll install all of those. Yep. BenQ wants to collect our information. We're going to say no. Well, this pretty much looks like an NVIDIA Shield. Same sort of interface. Almost exactly. So I'm going to do all of the inevitable updates for all these apps, and we'll be right back. For those of you that might be interested in streaming movies from your house and from your personal library, yes, the device does support Plex. Let's go ahead and install it and we'll take a look. Signing into Plex, it works just fine. Let's take a look at LEGO Masters. If you're not already watching this show, you should be.
For generations, millions have played and created works of art with the world.
When I was looking at the spec sheet on the X1300i, it did say that it did not support Netflix. So let's find out if that is true. As I said, the X1300i specifically does not support Netflix, and we did get some messages saying that it's not optimized for it, which I don't actually care as long as it works. So let's find out. Let's click in on this Netflix app. Yep. Incompatible. So it's worth noting that to use Netflix, you're going to have to stream it from a device other than natively from the X1300i. If you are using this with something like a Shield or some other device, you'll be perfectly fine, but natively, it's not going to work. On the other hand, Disney Plus works just fine. Loads up nice and quick, as you can see. Prime Video also works just fine. In fact, right on the remote, there's a physical button. Clicking that brings you right to Prime Video. YouTube loads up nice and quick. You can see I'm a big fan of pitch meetings, and I've recently gotten to Star Citizen, and I'm playing entirely too much Satisfactory. And I picked up this thing as well, or at least kickstarted it. God help me. Much like the NVIDIA Shield, there are a great number of apps that are supported. A fairly endless list, just natively on the device. Local television, PBS, MTV if you want to not watch music television. Crackle, Tubi, Red Bull TV, whatever works for you. This video is being captured by a Canon M50 at about 6 feet, and it can't possibly show you just how clear this particular projector really is. The X1300i is a 3000 lumen projector, so it's going to be capable of projecting on just about any distance that you would have in your home. At 3000 lumens, you should be able to shoot a 120-inch screen fairly easily from about 12 feet. We'll get into the exact specs in our written review, which you can find at gamingtrend.com. There are multiple color modes to choose from with the X1300i. Right now, we are shooting in HDR10, as you can see up in the upper left corner. We're going to go ahead and switch it to HDR FPS. HDR FPS mode is the 120 Hz refresh rate that this projector is using to push that we're a gaming projector angle. So we're going to test that out in a few moments. But it's supposed to show far less latency and better color quality overall. Switching it up. Now we're in HDR RPG. This particular mode is supposed to push more color saturation and depth, but not necessarily as low latency as the HDR FPS, and it's supposed to also change the overall sound quality coming from the projector itself. The last mode, HDR SPG, I'm guessing SPG in some way stands for sports. It's basically your sports setting, so that's a very vibrant pitch for like a soccer game or just high saturation color. And it's also supposed to really punch up the center channel so you can hear the crowd and the play-by-play by your color commentators. Realistically, you're probably not going to use the audio options available on the X1300i. More likely you're going to plug this into your receiver, and that receiver is going to handle all of your audio options. That said, The X1300i does have a solid set of speakers in it, and they do sound fantastic. I can imagine taking this on the go, or just using this outside on the back porch for an outdoor movie night. As you can see, the projector is running at 4K and 60 Hz, which is pretty solid for a projector of this size, and currently it's in HDR game mode and running off of the third HDMI port. Let's hop into the advanced mode and see what's underneath. The advanced mode gives you access to adjust all of these modes with a little bit more detail. As well as adjust your brightness, contrast, sharpness, color temperature, light source, how much brightness in HDR, any noise reduction. Let's head down to display. Here we can adjust the HDMI format. This is more of the color profile more than anything else. Auto seems to do a decent job. If you're inclined, you can go in and adjust these things manually. For most users, however, auto will be just fine. Electronics control, better known as EIC, you can go in here and adjust this to be able to control things like the receiver that we mentioned before, as well as the behavior that happens. This is most similar to the ARC controls on most TVs. It's also worth noting that this device also supports 3D. I can't think of a single TV that's shipped in the last 5 years that supported TV, but this projector does support a 3D mode. If you have glasses for that, you are welcome to take it for a spin. There are several picture modes. We'll cycle through them. This is bright. That just ruins the color. Living room. That's a more natural color. Game, it seems to be slightly brighter, but a little bit more washed out. Sports, I'm not sure I'm seeing a difference here. Cinema, looks like maybe deeper blacks, maybe slightly brighter midtones. And then of course, user, you're welcome to go in here and fiddle with things as you see fit. Having seen most people's defined user profiles, please don't fiddle with this. Find one that looks pretty good in the presets. I don't want to watch your orange TV. Another little feature that I found in the X1300i, this is very useful for alignment. We're going to go ahead and turn on test pattern. Test pattern brings up this grid that allows you to align it and ensure that all of the lines are perfectly parallel and horizontal. This will help with your framing for your screen to ensure that it is perfectly square and perfectly matches to the edges of your selected display screen. I want you to rest assured that I have absolutely no idea what high altitude mode does, but it does give you a warning that you should only turn it on if you are higher than 1,500 meters. So if you intend to scale a mountain or climb Mount Everest, you can bring this particular projector and turn high altitude mode on. Please let us know in the comments what that's like. Hard pass for me. If you are a relic like me, you might recognize baud rate from the dial-up modem days, and that's somewhat what this device is asking of you. If you have a particular device, and the odds are that you do not, that needs to connect to this over a serial port, there is a serial port on the back of this device, and you can set the baud rate according to what that device requires. The X1300i is an LED-based projector, but it also keeps track of how long you've been using your LED. Normally you see this used on projectors that use bulbs, but you can go into the light source information and you can see which modes you've used and for how long. We go into this quite a bit in our written review, but you can see that the X1300i uses a Rec 709 reference standard for its color system, and the dynamic range is currently set to SDR. Again, we go into this in a great amount of detail in our written review, and I encourage you to read that rather than going over it in this video. On the left side of the remote, there is a button for streaming directly to the device. They call it wireless projection. You can stream from your phone, any Android device, a Windows device. Simply a matter of connecting to it and being on the same network. Let's go ahead and give that a try. I'm going to bring up my phone and I'm going to stream from it directly. It shows QS01, which is what we've named this device. I simply select that, cast to it, it immediately brings it up.
Welcome to the Worldwide Engineering Brigade. Thanks to funding from Tony Stark, Web has brought together the world's most brilliant engineers and given them access to cutting-edge resources so that they can create tech that will empower everyday people like you.
Works perfectly. In fact, it's faster than my Shield. Streaming from a Windows PC is just as easy as streaming from a phone. Undoubtedly, this uses Chromecast, but I simply click cast and it streams directly from my computer. Smart Control lets you use the QR codes that you can see on the screen to download an app that will let you remotely control the projector itself. I don't know why you would do this because you have a remote, so maybe just, use that. Again, this is probably not the best way to shoot this because it's being shot on a light diffuser and you're getting lots of light bleed from the green screen behind it. So please ignore the colors. That's not really what's important. I don't want to ruin anyone's day, so we're going to go through the practice range. I don't want to mess up anybody's quick play, even though it's just quick play. So we'll just grab
my business, my rules.
We'll grab one of my favorite characters.
I see double kill.
I'm controlling this by looking at the... I'm actually going to mute this because it is somewhat loud. But I'm playing this looking at my secondary screen, not looking at my laptop screen, and it looks absolutely flawless. It's no different than looking at my regular screen if I were running it at 120 Hertz. Works remarkably well. You can see I'm having no trouble landing shots on the fly. Training bots are not exactly a substitute for a real game though. Now that we know that this works perfectly, let's get in the real thing after we run Bob off a cliff. Alright, switching to quick play. DPS, as always, locked. So we'll jump in as support, see who we get. Again, focus less on the color, focus more on the performance. Not my performance, but the performance of the projector at 120 frames per second. That volume does like to stay on the screen for an excessive amount of time. Muting and unmuting fixes that. We'll go full toxic and I'll play Moira. Kind of a healer, but not really a healer.
Science will reveal the truth. It is not my preference to see matters personally, but I will see them done. Greetings.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
Again, I'm hoping that my camera is capturing this well, but the frame rate is absolutely flawless. 120 frames per second on a projected screen. I'm surprised. I'm surprised at how well this is performing.
5, 4,
well. See that my team is completely stupid, as usual. Half of them are AFK, so, you know. Welcome to Quick Play!
Widowmaker.
Excellent, we got a Widowmaker that's super helpful. This match is going precisely as one would expect. Our Reinhardt thinks he's on a team by himself. Getting no help whatsoever from our team. At least somebody's on the point. Widow's standing out in the middle, as is her job, to stand out in the middle and just die. Clearly I've bundled up with the sharpest knives in the drawer.
10 seconds.
Not sure where Reinhardt's going. Not towards the objective, from the looks of things. Well, I may have lost, but this projector is magnificent. Absolutely flawless frame rate. And I can't really see any perceptible amount of delay or latency. The advertised 9 milliseconds, hard to tell, but I'll run some tests on it and see if I can detect that and see where we go from here. So we're looking at a black screen, even though you can hear Wolfenstein Youngblood music in the background. Switching from 1080p to 4K just will not display. I've tried 3 times now, and all it does is exactly what you see. Nothing. Whole lot of nothing. Alright, so now we're in the theater. Obviously we need to adjust the keystone because we're at a different angle than we were in my green screen room. Let's go ahead and make some adjustments. See if we can get this nice and square. That looks right. Just for kicks and giggles, we'll also try the auto keystone and see how that works. I guess it agrees with me. I couldn't think of a better game than Doom Eternal to show off the high speed craziness that 120 frames per second benefits from. So let's fire this up and see how it goes.
To gain passage to Aurora, you must power the gate of the Doom with the Wraith's crystal and pass through to where the Dark Lord resides. He is waiting for you. So for that entire sequence, I was playing entirely off the screen, not using my laptop screen at all.
and I have to say I'm pretty impressed. The purported low latency and high refresh rate seems to deliver on its promises, and if it can hold up to Doom Eternal, it can probably hold up to anything else that you're going to throw at it. I'm impressed. Well done, BenQ. We're going to switch things up one last time and fire up an absolutely gorgeous game, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Might need that.
So that about covers our video coverage. Let's wrap things up. First off, let me apologize for the color quality of the previous portions of this video. Either I don't have the right lenses, or maybe the right skills to capture in low light. Trust me when I say that the picture quality on the X1300i is top shelf. With its compact size and excellent sound, it'll be perfect for backyard movie night or at home in any theater. Big thanks to BenQ for letting us borrow this little guy. We're gonna be sorry to see it go. I'm Ron Burke, Editor-in-Chief for GamingTrend.com, saying stay safe, stay sane, and we'll see you again very soon.